right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is June 28th, 2023. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, it is your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. We're back at it again with another episode of the Pokemon Purified Go podcast. Very
Purified
excited.
Go podcast. I like that, actually.
I don't know why I read it so dyslexic in my head. But yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, we're once again here to talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as everybody else. Don't forget, we are part of the Professor Network. Check us out, professornetwork.com/Purified podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single time. And yeah, keep trading, keep waving, finders, whatever the case may be. Just keep playing, guys. That's all we gotta do. We had some exciting and interesting week for sure.
Yeah, literally right after we make the podcast.
Well, that and whatever happened yesterday, if you have been around the news outlets this last few days, but you know, it's just one of those things. Niantic strikes again. We had some pretty interesting announcements from some people from the community. The community getting shafted again, you know, one of those things. We definitely want to talk about that all of that's going on. But yeah, so how's your week been, brother? And again, we usually only talk like today, and then after that, we're like only talking every other so often.
Yeah, it's been a good week. I traveled for family matters recently, so I got to catch some Pokemon from all over the place. My biggest thing whenever I travel, I try to get a shiny in wherever I'm traveling, kind of like as a reminder.
Okay, what you got?
Where I've been. Well, I did end up getting a shiny Galarian Zigzagoon, so I got something.
Hey, it's something. It has the tag of the place that you went to, so you're fine there.
Yeah. So I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, overall, it's been a very good week. I can't really complain. I had a lot of fun this week playing Pokemon Go.
Okay, sorry for the sound, guys. I was not expecting that to be part of this. I'm opening the supply, but I didn't know they had sound until it started doing something. So I apologize about that. Anybody listening to the podcast right now in audio form, I was not. Yeah, I know it's like ominous or something, whatever the case may be. I was just like, I don't need this right now. But okay, I mean it's free items. I can't complain about that, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so yeah, okay, that's a good way to expend your week. Going to other places is always good, and you know, having to visit family when it needs to be. As for myself, I really just had a normal gameplay because after the last event, which was the Solstice event, we had vanilla spawns for a week at this point. So it's been kind of like a little less than a week, but it's still it sounded like we didn't have anything in between. We didn't really have to do anything during the weekend. Aside from probably Shadow Articuno raids, but I was busy all weekend, so I really couldn't do much. Was working and doing other things, so I just I didn't want to go anywhere. Plus, I got my shiny, so I really don't need it. So but yeah, it's one of those things when it comes down to it. So this week should be a little more fun. We are at the end of the month. June has finally ended, or will be ending by the time this podcast is out in fees. But yeah, it's been interesting. So I guess we should go over our holds aside from your shiny Zigzagoon. Do you got anything else?
Yeah, just today I got the shiny Spritzy during raid hour. Was very excited for that. I actually scared the other person riding in the back seat with us, Kiki. So that was funny.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, excited for that. There's still plenty of other shinies out there right now that I definitely like to get. But yeah. I want to hear about what you got, and I am excited to kind of review the Solstice event too when we talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go ahead and go over that. I don't think I got any handles since the last Lily Hello that we talked about. So yeah, I haven't gotten that lucky in the handle front this side. This week has been horrendous on that. As for shinies, Did I even get a shiny aside from my tray? No, the shiny Night Hello was the only one that I got during the podcast last week. And then I did get a Ladybug, but that's because a friend of mine actually, well, Kiki, which is our from our Discord, in our raid group, she just decided to trade me one. So I was like, okay, I'll take it. I guess that's the only shiny. It's a new shiny, so I can't complain. Maybe I'll finally get more shinies myself.
It counts.
It does. The only difference is that you always want to get it yourself before you actually get it. It's like before you start training.
Yeah,
But
more from a what's it called? Like it feels more rewarding, I guess.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I got a couple of Pokemons here that it could be shiny, but none of them are shiny. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, check that Hitman top.
Yeah, I know, right? Did I get anything PvP wise? I don't believe so. I did get my two. Actually, I did get a Hisuian Sneasel level 1, but it's a rank 4 as a Sneasel. So that's pretty good, I guess. Just
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, I gotta get a lot of candy or a lot of Excel
Is
for
that
that.
for the evolution or for the actual Sneasel?
For the actual Sneasel.
Okay. Yeah, I think I caught one like that too. Which, like, I know Sneasler is a monster in like any competitive like thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting a PvP of that guy, I checked out his moves. It's actually pretty good. Just
It's
for the
interesting.
regular one.
Yeah, I also completed both of my Solstice events for the research for Cosmo. I got a 93 for one with a 14 attack, and then the other one was just trash, no matter how much you look at it. So I guess I could probably evolve the one that... Oh, I need more candy for this. Wait, I need candy to evolve it. Oh. Yeah, I need... Wait, how many candy do I need? Oh, 25. Okay. Yeah, 25.
Yeah, you need the candy to evolve it.
Oh, that's actually a pretty cool upgrade, or I guess quality of life update when it comes down to it. So I clicked on the get candy from my storage, like the rare candy, and it automatically put the amount that I needed for the evolution.
Oh.
So I only needed 4 more, so it just literally skipped to 4 instead of me actually putting in the whole thing. So if I do, well, actually, let me go ahead and get a couple more regular candies here because I got a lot, so it's not like I need a lot anyways.
Yeah, I'm curious if they did that from people complaining about needing candy to evolve them.
Probably. However, I will use the extra 100 candy that I have, or not even extra large, but just regular candy, and then evolve this into a fully evolved Lunala because I didn't have that in my decks.
I said that weird, but I what I meant was they might have done that because people were putting more rare candy than they needed into a Pokemon.
That could also happen. I think somebody on holy crap, Luna is huge. I think that somebody in the internet actually mistakenly pressed the minus button on it and used all the rare candy into one Pokemon that only need 2.
Yes.
So that was
Yeah,
actually
I saw
kind of
that.
yeah, that was kind of insane. But yeah, after that, I really didn't get much. I did get my Regirock from the Tingle Rocket takeover event. Trash IVs as always, so it doesn't really matter at this point. And that's about it. That is about it. That's like really good wholesome. I guess we should really recap the Solstice event since in the end of the day we really didn't have that much to talk about since it was still ongoing, things like that. I guess we can finally get a review. What do you have to say about the Solstice event there, Chris?
Yeah, in my opinion, a really fun event, even with the hiccup where it wasn't giving us the nighttime spawns in the beginning.
It took them a couple of days to actually fix that, but they got fixed eventually. So
yeah, it would have been cool if it got extended a little bit because of that for people that wanted the nighttime spawns more. But overall, great Pokemon all around. I still don't have a shiny Solrock or Lunatone, so I'm kind of sad about that. But to be fair, I didn't go out every day, constantly.
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I can't knock the event too much for that. But yeah, overall, great spawns. The quests were fine. I didn't think they were too tough.
Just
yeah,
regular throws and all that. Yeah, so that wasn't too bad when it comes down to it. Raids could have been a little bit better, but Night Hello was keeping it at bay until then. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't too bad when it came down to it in the end of the day. And then what about
give it like an 8?
Yeah, I guess I can really give it that too. At 8, yeah, and 8 is fine. I don't need anything higher or lower. It had a little bit of everything. maybe the eggs could have been something, but again, a lot of people really
Okay.
don't want to buy the eggs. But it is what it is. But yeah, then after that, we actually had part 2, which was a Tingle Rocket Takeover. This part of the events are usually just not, trying to defeat Giovanni as fast as possible to get the Shadow Pokemons, which was Regirock, as we mentioned already. But yeah, DM Frustration away, which we did have the finally chance to do our Shadow Mewtwo's that way.
Thank goodness.
I know a lot of people were looking for that time to be able to do it. So that's actually pretty good. Now you have a very strong Pokemon for the while. Actually, I haven't even seen the Trainer Club do that frustration away. So I guess I should probably look at his videos because he got Hondo and the Shando Mewtwo.
Oh
Anyway.
yeah. He had a timer set or something.
Yeah, I was like, it's time. And of course, this started at the beginning of the day. Not even at the beginning of the day. It was like midnight on a specific day when the event started, and the day before midnight on the end of the event on Sunday, I believe. So, but yeah, again, it wasn't too bad. New Shadow Pokemons. Gibble being probably one of the rarest we can ever find these days. I don't know why, but I guess it is. The Dragon Rockets have always been hard to find, regardless.
Yeah, I think it's the same instance as like Snorlax. They know people want it just because it's something that looks strong.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny though. I think Mawile is a lot more common than both of those, and I would think that one's pretty good to have as a shadow.
That's true. That is 100% true on that. So, aside from that, we do have brand new Rockets leader Shinies. We have, I think, Sierra has Geodude. Arlo has Apon, which is a returning one, I believe. And then Cliff has Aerodactyl, which is another returning one. So the only brand new one with Geodude that is a Shadow Shiny. But I guess at this point, Aerodactyl is probably the biggest chase. It's not the biggest pull for us, the leaders, this time around, right? Yes or no, maybe. It's just that the leaders are not the greatest, or the Tingle Rocket leaders are not the greatest out of them all.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst one we've ever had, but it's really close.
Yeah,
to be honest,
it's not in the top
cool.
10. It's not in the top 10 of rotations, anyways, because we always have at least a good powerhouse to search for at some point.
Yeah, Aerodactyl is cool, but I think I've heard it's a repeat.
Yeah, Aerodactyl is a repeat. I think Apon is also new, but I can't remember at this point.
Yeah, Shadow Apom should be new. They're all right. I think Geodude looks the best until it evolves all the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that the quote unquote best one is a repeat does kind of diminish all of them, in my opinion.
Well, most of the ones that can Mega Evolve usually are better anyway. So Aerodactyl, Metagross, Larvitar, or Tyranitar can Mega Evolve. So those are the best.
Because you could find it and then purify it.
It would have been actually nice to put Sableye in the pool. That would have been a good addition with the new one, but I guess not at this point because Sableye is part of the grunts every now and then in the rotation, but when it came down to at least giving it a Shadow Shiny, that would have actually been a nice chase since the Mega is being released as of when we speak today anyways. So that makes sense in the end of the day. However, that the case may be, TM Frustration. Hopefully all of you were able to TM Frustration during the time of the event. We'll have at least one other one by next season anyway. So the once a season, I like it. It's kind of like the good kind of like events that we can have throughout the season anyway. So we can be overpowered every month with it. Every time it happens, it is how it is. And Giovanni's never going to come back more than once a season at this point. That's usually the rotation.
Yeah, hopefully.
We did actually mention that we finally got to the point where we can get the final Giovanni close from I think the 20 Giovannis that we can do to get to goal. However, you have to still buy the clothes. So what's the point?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, people have been posting that it's 150 coins to buy the jacket for Giovanni.
Right.
After you get it unlocked. It's crazy.
It is a little bit crazy that after we're able to finally get the final pieces of clothing, we still got to buy them regardless. So it's not even a reward. It's just a chance to finally get it. Like
You
that's
get the
really.
pants now.
Yeah, and, well, actually, it's the shirt I think and the gloves, but whatever. Some people will like it, but that's how it is. Also, Zach, thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, it is what it is, and it comes down to it. But yeah, let's go ahead. I guess we start going into the research topics, and then we'll talk about all the controversy. But before we do, actually, I forgot to mention, there is one last thing that happened last week. Actually, happened 2 days ago, I believe, when it came down to it because of the last few updates. But Pokeminers, which are our biggest source of data mining into the game, Pokeminers are wonderful people to work with because they just get us all the information before it actually releases. But they are saying that they will be doing a soft shutdown of their process, I guess, their actual work when it comes to mining the in-game information and everything. They actually quoted it out saying that, after Niantic actually obstructing most of the information and having to battle is basically a back and forth with Niantic when it comes down to it, they don't really feel like it's okay to, or not really feel like, it's more like they feel like they got defeated after doing all the Pokemon mining for all these years. Plus, the game hasn't really been panning out for them. They said that after the last few updates and changes and decisions from Niantic, I guess they are starting to lose a little bit of hope when it comes down to the game. However, I do want to always, shout out to the kind of people that have helped us, because Pokemoners was a big part of the community for many reasons, especially, to be able to actually get information, or that small little hidden information like stats for moves or how they're going to work here or things like that. I'm going to say this right now. Of course, data mining is breaking TOS for Niantic. So it really, doing it just puts you at risk. But reporting on it usually doesn't. So we're actually just always rely on Pokeminers for a lot of different things. And a lot of the community does too, because it does help us prepare ahead of a few things. However, somebody that mentioned this, and that's actually from Lurap when I was listening to our podcast, is that they're also like, another side of the coin, because Niantic is always wanting to release like promotional stuff for new events, new Pokemons, new things, and they spend a lot of money and resources to actually make that possible. But if we already, go into the mines and get that information before that happens, then that kind of resources kind of go to waste when it comes down to it. Niantic is always on the back footer when it comes to it, because we always know what's going to happen right before it happens. And that's what Pokemoners usually would do. Now, I'm not saying the Pokemoners are the bad guys. They're actually the best guys out there. And we have relied on them for a long, long time. It's one of those things that it puts a bittersweet taste in your mouth, because even though they've been there forever, just like the Silk Road and the Silk Arena, it kind of feels like a part of that is ending. That era is ending. Now, this to say, somebody else can go into the mines and start, getting the information as it is. They're not fully shutting down yet. They will be working, I don't know, probably for the next month or so for a few more things, but pretty much that's how it's going to be for a while. We're going to not have as much information as usual when it comes down to it. And I respect Pokeminers for a lot of different things, because they are putting themselves, at the forefront of the community, just getting inside the game and getting that information. So it's kind of one of those things in the end of the day, you got to look at it in two different perspectives. But again, it's one of those things that will change regardless of how you look at it. Any thoughts on Pokemon shutting down or anything like that, Chris?
Yeah, definitely disappointing. Just because there's a lot of hype that came around.
Yeah.
The information coming out a bit earlier. Because sometimes it is pretty annoying to have to wait a bit to get the information.
True, but again, it's also one thing that a lot of people are actually getting, is that we never really have a lot of surprises in this game, because most of the time that we have anything announced or right before it gets announced, we find it in the mines. We find it really deep in the mines, but we still find them. So we kind of have an idea what they're working on for the future. Niantic can never really surprise us when it comes down to it. They can surprise us with bugs, But we can definitely say that it's. I don't think it should have been the intent, regardless. I mean, I'm glad that finding out information early is good because a lot of the content creators usually do rely on that. Even PvPoke and all the other places rely on the deep information of the game to really understand how like movesets or anything like that works. But maybe this could also be a shift in how we see the community a little bit more because we can be surprised a little bit more, instead of finding
That's
out
fair.
that Mega Metagross is going to come out next week or something like that, then at least we find out that easily, unless Niantic screws up anyways. But
Yeah, it does allow for more hype. Um, I do feel like announcing at least part of the event ahead of time, like they do through their blogs, is still a way to keep that hype.
yeah,
But I do understand the way they do
yeah.
things.
But again, nothing on Pokemoners. They are great people. They really don't have any malice when it comes down to it. It's just that it's time for them to retire in some way. I think their Discord is still gonna keep up and running. Some of their bots are still gonna up and running. But since Niantic has been working on obstructing most of the information in the mines, it hasn't really been pan out for them to spend hours upon hours to really just get one piece of information from us to release it to the world in the United States. So
Okay,
it's
so
they're getting.
it's not a break. They're actually going to be kind of shutting down like Soph.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be shutting
Okay.
down. So that's basically just another part of the community. Now, we report on the mines a lot because sometimes we are hyped about the things that are going to come.
Yeah.
But we really don't try to bring in the hype because, again, sometimes even finding things in the mines early doesn't say that it's going to be released in the times ahead. It's like, uh, let's say the route system, the new route system it will be released. So hopefully sometime soon, or it's been released and tested out with other people right now. That information was in the mines from like 3 years ago. So we kind of knew that this feature was coming. We just didn't know when. They never announced that. We thought it was ready a long time ago, but I also believe that it's part of the not going out, COVID, and all those things that actually happened. So in the end of the day, it makes sense. So again, data mining is breaking text of services. Technically, most of the information is usually just tenet until it actually fully releases into the game, and that actually when we know that it's actually coming. But if this gives us a greater chance to be a little more intuitive and surprised to what the game is to come and what is coming in the coming weeks or in the coming months or years, then that will make it a little bit exciting to play the game. Instead of like having a full script from the very beginning of the day. And that's pretty much all I have to say when it comes down to it. Any more thoughts?
Um, nothing. Nothing I can really say like other than that. Other than I appreciate the work they did
Yes, we
for
really do.
relaying the information early.
Yeah, we definitely really appreciate the Miners for always doing their best work, even when they had tough times ahead of them from the rest of it. And that's the thing, Niantic knew they were doing that. Like
Yeah.
they were playing with them half the time too. Like it didn't make sense, but a lot of the companies do obstruct their information before they can out of the work because if have you seen actually like Pokemon Masters? Like they data mine that
A
shit like
little
the
bit.
moment they data mine that shit, and we're not even surprised of what's gonna come. We just get ready to get it here. So it's kind of like those moments. Games are meant to have some surprises when they came down to it. Now, is it Pokemoners? Right now, it's just like a soft shutdown when it comes down to it. It's closer to what the Celta Arena or Silroy is doing. Will it be something that will happen fully at some point? Maybe. Like I said, they're definitely going to be missed. And who knows what they're coming in the future. So hopefully in the future, Emders and everything that they do, I wish them the best, really.
Mhm.
All right. So with that out of the way, before we get into more dark news, anyway, that's what we're gonna be getting to. Anyways, topic research of the week. How about that, Chris? What is this event about?
Yes. This is actually going to be my first time looking at the event, but I know it is called the Dark Flames event. We're going to be diving into darkness, or let your flame blaze in the new Dark Flames event. Trainers, roaring flames to your left and an endless tunnel of darkness to your right. between fire or dark Pokemon. Which will you challenge? Personally, I think I'd go fire. That's just me though. You get to choose your fate during the event Dark Flames. Fire type and dark type Pokemon will appear more frequently in the wild or in raids. Plus, the fire and dragon type Pokemon Turtonator, the blast turtle Pokemon, will make its Pokemon Go debut in raids. And if you're lucky, you may encounter a shiny one. This is the first time it's getting released, and it's already got a shiny, but it's only in raids and quests, I think. We're going to talk more about that later. And then also emerging from the darkness is the Ghost and Dark type Pokemon Mega Sableye. Very excited.
Yes.
The Darkness Pokemon, that's a great name for that. Making its Pokemon Go debut in Mega Raids.
Yes. So when is it starting? Well, it's technically starting in parts of the world right now. Thursday, June 29. It is 28 for us right now, but 29 at 10 a.m. local time to Sunday, July 2nd at 8 p.m. local time. Just like we mentioned, Tornado will be making his Pokemon Go debut with shiny release. This is the same as Dradagon's shiny release because that Pokemon came out and his shiny release at the same time. Mega Sableye, just like we mentioned, also very good opponent Pokemon for the Ultra League, I believe. If you actually have it maxed out, I think that's how it works.
I'm not sure.
Not sure either. We have wild encounters. The following Pokemon will appear in the wild: Vulpix, Houndour, Poochyena, Galarian Zigzagoon, Carvanha, Numel, Stunky, Liquid, and Litten. And if some traders may even encounter the following: Houndoom and Sableye. Also, I forgot to mention that you get a shiny Sableye that I traded for that Ladybug. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the background they used by this off topic.
yeah, no, definitely. I like it too. The raids, 1-star raids, Sneasel, Darumaka, Scraggy, and Dino making its return to raids. 3-star raids, Alolan, Marowak, Flareon, Umbreon, and Turtonator. 5-star raids will have Heatran, and Heatran will actually going to have a brand new move, Magmastar, which is its signature move. So it will know that charge attack. I believe you can TM it as soon as the event starts. So that's actually early TM it as soon as the event starts if you had a good one already. Trader battles will have 65 power and gyms and raids will have 75 power. So what, a class, or not a class, but is it like a clone of one move that I'm thinking of? I can't remember at this point.
Yeah, I know there's other people that like know all the different powers off the back of their hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure about 65 and 75.
Yeah. And of course, Mega Raid will have Mega Sableye in its pool. The event bonuses will be additional 25% experience for completing raids. So this is the first time they actually mention percentage instead of actually saying that it's like double or something like that. So I don't know what's going on with that. 3 additional candies for completing raids. You will also receive an additional extra large candy for completing raids. When was this? When I was doing my Hello. Jeez. Tingle Rocket Grunts using fire types and dark type Pokemon will appear more frequently in Pokéstops and Balloons.
Ooh.
Depending on your time research choice, you will receive one of the following. An instance is more likely to attract either fire type Pokemons or dark type Pokemons, depending on what you choose on your time research.
Ooh.
That will be excluding, of course, your daily instance.
Yeah, if that included the daily instance, that would be a huge way to get Galarian Moltres.
Yeah, that would be nice for you, right? I already got it. It's actually been doing waves in the Ultra League. Not gonna lie. Branching time research. So as we mentioned, Dark Flame team time research will be available throughout the event. Trainers will be able to choose between paths focusing on fire type or dark type Pokemons. Complete the task to earn premium battle passes, 15,000 experience, and encounter with event team Pokemons and more. Each path will affect whatever fire type or dark type Pokemons were attracted to instance, which we mentioned in the bonuses anyways. Field research stacks will have encounters with Alolan Meowth, Alolan Grimer, Alolan Marowak, Alolan Magmar, Alolan Sneasel, or not Alolan Sneasel, regular Sneasel, Liquid, and Turtonator. So Turtonator will actually be in field researches. So technically, it's not the only way to get it. However, we what I was gonna say is that we have found out because the world is already having this event. The Turtonator will be in the one task that says that you have to win 3 raids to be able to actually encounter a Turtonator from your field research. So kind of free, kind of don't, because you still got to do the race. So unless you're actually stacking them up, it's not really going to work out that well.
Yeah, I definitely recommend to people to try and stack 3. That way, you're basically doing 1 raid for 2 Turtonators after you do 3 raids.
Yeah.
But that's up to you. At the end of the day, good luck.
Through that, Drowsy, thank you. The Dark Flames collection challenges will also be coming soon. The type of collection challenge will get depending on the time research path you choose. And then by the end of the event, you earn 5,000 experience and 100 Houndoom Mega Energy.
Okay.
So that's pretty nice. I mean, it's always good for Mega Energy that's free.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But that is the Dark Flames event. Somewhat exciting. Some of the Pokemons are kind of meh when it comes down to it. Any cool things that you look from this event there, Chris?
It's kind of tricky because I'm trying to think of some dark type Pokemon I'd be excited, especially out of their list to see like show up more. But looking at the event, the one I'm kind of more excited for is Numel in the wild, because I don't think I can't remember getting that shiny when we went to Hoenn Tour. But
I know I have a few.
Oh yeah.
I think I got it from GoFest though.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely I think the name is really cool. I think the types of Pokemon showing up are really cool. Dark and Fire, a lot of favorite types for a lot of people. Very competitive types.
It will be. I would say that this event could have been just a little bit better if we also give us a shiny wild release. Maybe something like Stunky. I know Lidland wouldn't be a shiny release just because of Community Day, but Stunky would be nice to actually have an extra release if that would have been the case. It would have been a little more exciting that way.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely a few more Pokemon that could use their shiny release soon.
And of course, Numel is also a Mega Evolved Pokemon, so getting the Hundo or the shinies for them will be ready to go for whenever Mega Camerupt really comes out. Yeah, an extra large, which I really don't need at this point. But anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much the event. Again, just excitement here and there. Practice caution whenever doing as many races you want to, because again, you only get 5 remotes, but then you can do as many in person. Turtonator doesn't look like to be that hard of a raid boss in 3-star race regardless. However, right now I think it's a little bit glitched for somebody. I don't know if it actually got a fix or not at this point, but when Turtonator appears on the map, or at least in the encounter screen, the circle is on his head, but not his body. So it's like tiny little thing like right there or something.
He's protecting himself with his shell.
Pretty much, Is that the second dragon Drapion that I caught today? Here. Oh my goodness. Anyways, that's Dark Flames event. We do have a little bit more news because it is time for July. The dump of news is here, y'all. It's time to know what's coming for the month of July. And we're going by chronologically when this information was released, so bear with us. But anyways, that's how it goes. We do have our megas for the month. Mega Sableye making its brand new debut from June 29 all the way to July 6. Then we have Mega Blastoise from the 6th to the 13th, Mega Blaziken from the 13th to the 25th, and then Mega Tyranitar. They're not hiding this one. Mega Tyranitar is coming out from July 25th to August 4, with one of the best rock type, dark type attackers in the meta right now. So but getting ready for Mega Tyranitar is really simple a thing. 5-star race. So we know Heatran is coming from June 29th all the way to July 6th. Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres making all its comeback this next week after that. So July 6th to July 13th. All 3 of them will be in race, so we'll be rotating. I don't even think this rotating. It's just whatever happens to appear will be the ones that we do.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. It doesn't say if any of them are going to have special moves.
Correct.
From what I'm seeing. So
yeah,
we might be pleasantly surprised, but I'd say don't expect them to have their special moves.
We'll see. Regieleki comes back into regular race from July 13 all the way to July 25th. So coming from elite race into regular rates, I believe that's a good thing, but it's not shiny available anyways. And Regidrago from July 25th all the way to August 4. Another one that was in elite rates, and I guess they finally realized there's really no point in putting them in elite rates unless it's a mythical Pokemon or something, right?
I mean, it's cool to have that exclusivity and get the people together to try and fight one. You know, and like have to get together. I understand, wanting to kind of revitalize local people for events like that.
Yeah.
But I am very happy that they didn't wait too long before putting it in regular raids for people to get out there and get hunting.
Well, at the time when both Regieleki and Dragonite came out, there were so many glitches when it came down to elite raids that it kind of defeat the purposes for elite raids. Plus, I don't understand why they took them. They had to go that route first to release them before we actually got them. But I guess the hunt for the Hundo is finally on again, since the shiny is not releasing and probably won't be releasing anytime soon, regardless of how we look at it. Breach's Breakthrough Box will continue on for the season of Hidden Gems. So Sableye, Beldum, Audino, Furfurov, Gumi, and Noibat will be part of this of the whole Breach's Breakthrough. Then we have our raid hours. Heatran, July 5th. Articuno, Sadra, and Moltres will be on July 12th, that will be an interesting one to play anyways. Regieleki, July 19th, and Regidrago on July 26th. How about the Spotlight hours, Chris?
Yes, July 4th is going to be Rufflet, 2-time Stardust for catching Pokemon. I'm a bit disappointed they're putting, something as cool as that on July 4th, but it is kind of funny since it's the America bird.
That's what I was going to say, but yeah, go ahead.
Yup, I knew it. That's what everyone thinks. July 11th, 2-times XP for catching Pokemon, and it's going to be Welmer. July 18th, 2-times Candy for catching Pokemon, and it's Rhyhorn. And then July 25th is 2-times Candy for transferring Pokemon, and it's Yungoos. I always recommend to either mark all the Pokemon you want to transfer ahead of time or have them ready to transfer right at the beginning of Spotlight Hour at 6 p.m. local time.
Yes.
That way you can just focus on catching all the Yungoos and whatever else is spawning at that time.
Definitely. Also, July 4th is American July 4th, so you know what it is. But yeah, so we have our events for the month of July, and this time is an interesting one. So starting up this weekend, we have Go Battle Weekend, which we'll talk about in just a moment. July 2nd and July 1st to July 2nd from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. on July 2nd. The 7th anniversary party. So Pokemon Go's 7th anniversary. Holy crap, we finally got here. 7 years. That's crazy. But yes, July 6th to July 12th. So it's a full 6-on event from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. local time. Community Day Classic. We know it's Squirtle. So that is another one for July 9. Catching some Z's from July 15th to July 16th. A weekend basically for that. I wonder what's it gonna really be, I wonder.
That's called Drowsy.
Yeah, no, there we go. Yeah. Here's my best friend, Drowsy. Come on. Riolu Hatch Day on July 22nd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. I hope that Riolu is in every single one of the pools of eggs for this.
Money?
Or if, I don't know. Well, yeah, that's money for them, but we have Adventure Week happening from July 27th to August 2nd. Adventure Week is a fan favorite anyways. I think most of the fossils usually come out during those days anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Which, at this point, do we have any new fossils that we gotta take care of? Not until Generation 8, right? Wait, Generation 8 got fossils. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, if we're talking the mix-matched fossil. Wait, is that Gen 8? That
is Gen 8, yeah, because Gen 9 didn't have fossils. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Generation
that'd be a
9
lot
doesn't
to
have
add.
fossils. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Anyway.
I'm hoping, I think it's time they release shiny Amora and
Tyron?
right?
Yeah.
Or is there another one before them?
No, because that one would have been Archon and Tortura, which we already have shinies of. So yeah, I guess that will be the shiny release if we're going by time periods, because it's been a year since it's been released anyways.
Yeah, you'd think since they've been extinct for so long, it'd already be past that time.
Right. And then finally, we do have our July's Community Day on July 30th. This is actually a very late Community Day for the actual month. I was not expecting it to be this late on the whole season, on the whole month actually. But that's interesting to say the least, because in the month of August is going to be crazy anyways.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how much they're going to push back the next one,
That's true.
or if it's going to be like in the middle.
Shit. Well, we have, if we are going by what we already know, we have Osaka Go Fest and London Go Fest, I think, happening the second weekend of August. Let me just make sure that I am correct on this. So it's happening, yes, the second week of August. Worlds, actually, no, hold on. I'm wrong. Go Fest Osaka and London will happen on the first weekend of August, which is the 5th and the 6th, or 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then we have the Worlds happening from the 11th, 12th, and 13th, so the Worlds Championship. So that's actually another thing that they're going to be talking about. Then we have Go Fest New York happening the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And then Go Fest Global happening on the 26th and the 27th. So we really don't have a lot of bigger room for Community Day for next month. So that's going to be an interesting one. Unless it surprises with a double Community Day Pokemon on July or something like that. That is interesting. But yeah, that's going to be one hell of a weekend. So that's going to be one hell of August for sure. But yeah, that's the month of July. Any excitement aside from, me trying to get any Mega Tyranitar's out of the way?
I think overall, Tyranitar is going to be a fun one. Obviously, bring your fighters.
Yeah.
The birds, I'm not super excited for them. Heatran, I got some good IV ones, but the new move is kind of cool. I think the spotlight hours are kind of the most fun event.
Nah, well, that's true.
Other than the Mega.
Aside from the other events that we already mentioned, plus the Dark Flame and events that's ongoing for this month, it's going to be interesting how the month really falls out. Have you noticed something, though?
Oh.
Have you noticed that there is no Shadow Legendary for this month? So there's no Zapdos, which technically should have been the next one after Articuno. We have Mewtwo at the end of May and Articuno all the way through June, but nothing for this month. So do you think that they're going to go ahead and release the Shadow Shinies once per season, just like they're doing with the Team Gold Rocket Red takeovers?
I could believe it.
Because at the same time, we wouldn't have enough content for every single month worth of shiny shadows. At this point, I believe that that's going to be the case. I believe there's only going to be one shadow shiny legendary Pokemon in raids, in shadow raids, once per season, for the reason that we may not have enough time to do every single one and have enough content for rotation every single time that it comes out. So it kind of actually gives us a break, because if we do have back to back every single month a shadow shiny, it means that we have to go out almost every single weekend, and I don't think that that's the actual intent of Niantic. We want to have shadow shiny legendaries for sure, but having them come out every single month feels like a defeated purpose, because it just feels like we're just spending so much time outside for that reason. And even though that's their goal, it's not healthy. So it makes sense. Any thoughts on that or anything else? Or do you think that's good?
I think that's good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these events, I just got to see what the actual details are before I actually, give my full thoughts on it. But it does look like it's going to be a good month.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Mr. Wubanger, 23. Thank you for joining us. He caught a shiny Doduo during Spotlight Hour, so that's pretty cool. I have my shiny, so I'm good for now. I didn't really play that Spotlight Hour anyways, but still.
It's a cool one since it's got the gender difference too.
Also, how you actually catch it on the screen, It's like on the side of the road. Anyways, that's July, and that's our thoughts. Let's move on to the next piece of news, and that is Campfire. It's been a while since we actually talked about Campfire when it comes down to it. But this time, Campfire is actually being fully released worldwide for the first time after a full years of testing and things like that. The app actually had a full overhaul since its release yesterday. But basically, I could go over the video, but I believe it's actually a little bit long, so I'm not going to go over what Campfire really is. But they're excited to finally have their social app, Campfire out, rolling out for all Pokemon Go trainers. It can help to connect, discover local communities, and find active raids nearby. You know, we can try it during Community Day if we wanted to, if that was the case, and coordinate to have some fun with other trainers. What the heck is Campfire? Well, Campfire, we're actually talking about that right now. So it's basically a Niantic's Discord, but it's also a raid map. So you'll be able to see what exactly or what raids you're looking for or looking to raid with other people. Now, I could open it right now, but it does actually tell you where you live, so really don't want people to know that right now. But it has a new feature with the Rolo called T-Map. Now, I was trying to test this out. What's happening is that the new feature actually shows that you want to raid a specific Pokemon here. Instead of just lighting up their flare and chatting on the chat, you can actually try to look for people around you who still also want to do the raid, and then they all come together and coordinate to do that raid within the time period that the raid is active.
Ooh.
So it's technically actually searching your nearby area for other trainers, which is cool. You know, you don't have to respond to the actual flare-up when it comes down to it, or the team-up, but it's actually working as intended. I haven't really seen people really utilize it so much, but again, the feature has actually just came out, and the whole thing about Campfire really finally it has opened up just recently, like a day ago or something. So when it came down to it, you can team up, host a raid. You can host a raid, ask for people to come through and join you. It will tell you which raid pass you're using. So if you're in person, it will either use your free one or your premium one. But if you're remoting, it will show you what remotes are. So they're still implementing remote raids in features like this if people are still looking to do remotes after all the changes anyways. So they're not excluding remotes when it comes down to it. With the new feature, joining other trainers, tackle raid battles have never been easier. You know, once open the menu, trainers will be able to choose to host or join a raid via the menu. After selecting an option, trainers will see what raids are close enough to host or join. Regardless of how it may be, it's basically just calling out trainers a lot easier through the app. You can even chat with them through the app, and I think even invite them to your friends list when it comes out to it. So that's pretty cool. It will be interesting how it really works out. I really need to test it out by myself and see how it works.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to take a lot of trial and error, at least to get used to it.
But again, it also functions like a Discord. So you can actually create your own community Discord or Campfire Discord into the actual app. And then, join up with other people and talk about things and things like that. Is it going to replace Discord? I don't believe so. Is it going to replace other methods that other people go through? I don't think so. But it is going to open up a big way of how we are really going to interact with other players at the end of the day. And I believe this will also help out something that it's been a long time running. People who play the game but don't know where other people are. So I believe this app can really benefit even the small roller player who just wants to play for here and there and really show and, make it out there with other people and actually make out the game itself of what we wanted to play. So I really like it. But again, it's just a matter of trial and error when it comes down to it. I believe that we'll just need to have more information in the future when it really is at the end. Any more thoughts there, Chris?
Yeah, I know people are still in love with Discord. I think it's possible to use both. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. I will say something that Campfire does that Discord just can't do on the same level is just seeing the raids, seeing what's going to hatch. Because it is pretty annoying just having to post the eggs and just looking for the eggs in your local Discord group.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think they can both work, hand in hand at the end of the day.
Yeah, and again, guys, using any type of social media app like this or something like that, just be respectful of others. Campfire does have a good way to silence most of the players who actually have inappropriate words in it.
A little bit too much sometimes.
A little too much. But they'll work on it to make sure. Just be very careful to be safe out there and be aware of your surroundings whenever it comes down to this. Because again, Pokemon Go is for all players, but it could be dangerous if you don't know where you're going. Okay, so that's Campfire again. I hope that everybody is having a good time today at chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Then, because of Campfire being released, we do have the restart of the Community Ambassador program and the update to the actual program. Now, we really don't talk much about this in the podcast. We only mention it here and there whenever it comes up. But the Community Ambassador program was basically the way for us to get more incentive from Niantic for our local communities. You basically have to be a good leader and a good community to show that you're responsible enough to run a actual group of people and be an ambassador to your community in the end of the day. So just like they mentioned, they're retooling the application process to become an ambassador. You can apply today. So what has changed at this point to apply for this? The application process is now fully run by Niantic, so I don't believe that Silk Road or anything like that will have any effect on it anymore since they're shutting down pretty soon. The application process is fully run by Niantic. Applicants will no longer be required to consult, visit, or utilize external websites or resources. The minimum community size has been reduced to 10 people. That's interesting. So that means that if you actually have a group of 10 people, you can become an ambassador. Applicants must run a total of 4 local community events. This include, but not limited to, community days or raid days gatherings, trading meetups, Go Battle League tournaments, and local in-person Go Fest celebrations. That makes sense. They don't mention anything about raid hours, just raid days in general. So I guess it's a more bigger event like Community Day in the end of the day.
I mean, it does say it could include other things.
Right. We will have to see exactly how it works, but I'll probably have to talk to some people how the ambassador works in the end of the day. What steps do we need to take to become a community ambassador? Fill out the application at the end of this page. After the initial review of your application, you will be invited to join a community of applicants and continue with the vetting process. It's not voting process; it's betting process. After
it is kind of like a job where they look for who's the best qualified for betting.
Yeah. After you've been added to the group, you must run at least 4 community events and submit a group photo of each event. Okay, so that makes more sense. After those 4 events have occurred, we will conduct a final background check and safety check of your community. It's really hard to say that our community can be really beneficial for this. We do have somewhat of a small group, but I don't think we have at least 10 or more people really that go out every single community day every time.
I don't think we have 10 every single event. There are definitely more than 10 people in the community.
Yeah.
Definitely not as much as we used to see, sadly.
No, definitely has been lowering about when it comes down to it, but it makes sense that that's how they want to plan it out. And then be able to group it together for that reason. So when it comes down to it, it is what it is. So it does actually talk about what the Community Ambassador program really is. It supports the local groups and things like that. What can we really receive from them? Incentive codes for items and things like that during the events and everything like that. It just makes a good way to really create a community out there, and then just invite more people in, because if you want to be a part and a leader, it makes sense in the end of the day. So, but yeah, again, 1 or 2, maybe 5 people will really want cut it. You really have to bring a community together and host events, because that's really what it works when it comes to the community ambassador. We can come back to it at some point. I believe that we're finally getting a group together little by little, but it's going to take time to really put in the events back again for our own community in the end of the day, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's true. I do think it's important for people to, get out there and find out who's playing so we can all work together.
Well, maybe Campfire will finally help us out on that. So
honestly.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's the Community Ambassador program. If you guys want to read any more information, it is on their website right now. So just go out there and see if maybe you can become an ambassador yourself. You never know. And then finally, before we actually go into our PvP section, and I know we have a little bit to talk about there, Niantic Cat strikes again at its finest, really. So last week, and this is something that we should have discussed it really in the beginning of it. Last week, the brand new update for Pokemon Go was coming out. It was being tested out like always before it's fully released to the media, but we had some interesting things happen to the game. The very first thing that a lot of people noticed is that the radius of how many Pokemon you can see in the overworld was increased from 40 meters to 80 meters, I believe. So instead of seeing, let's say, the spawns that I see right now, like the 4 or 5 Pokemon that I see on my spawn points, I can actually see all the way to probably the end of the other side of the neighborhood right here. Not the whole neighborhood, but like the side of the road over here. And then closer to the gym as anything, I could also see all the spawns that would usually take me to have to walk maybe 3 or 5 more steps to the right to actually get to it. So it was actually a really good update because we were seeing screenshots of people seeing a bunch of Pokemon spawns in their area and things like that. It wouldn't affect the Gold Plus or any of the other devices, but it will still be kind of cool to be able to actually look and see, maybe click on the Pokemon that you wanted to, and then interact with them from closer or farther away than usual. And it seemed to be a good update from the whole thing. Now, when it was being tested out and rolled out little by little, there was no changes. Right before or right at the time the update was fully integrated into everybody, we had news from the content creators and their partners, Lord Up or the Trainer Club, Lander Alpha, Mystic 7, any of those people, had information that said that this was an intended change to the game. And everybody was happy. Everybody in the mother was happy with this. Everybody was saying that the quality of life update that we really needed. And then all went to shit. As of yesterday, June 27, Niantic support tweeted out, some trainers may have experienced an increase to the current interactors radius. This was an unintended effect of a bug fix intended to improve the Pokemon encounter experience when your device is experiencing GPS drift. While we're reviewing this change, we will take your feedback into consideration and we'll look into optimizing the Pokemon encounter experience in the future. So we get official word from them saying that this was intended. We had all the content creators to release the information that said that it was intended, and then backlash it and literally cut our heads over us and say this was not intended at the end of the day. It was supposed to be on there. So, and the community is on rage again. So
yeah, I feel like
oh god.
either one of their workers accidentally assumed something, or maybe they asked somebody a question that was different than the actual question for their higher up. Like, hey, did we mean to do this? Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, is that what you meant? No.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. When
Definitely sucks. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple of levels to this announcements and to all this thing that's happening. Definitely, the biggest down level is the toxicity of the community really saying that this was just a gut shot in the end of the day, and this was not supposed to happen. Do better, here's Niantic. All that stuff was happening again, However, the layers is this: Niantic released something. It's being released throughout the media. The media gets the information they're saying that is supposed to be true and correct, the information and the things that are happening to the game. All the partners, all the content creators are actually saying, this is good, this is amazing, we're finally getting this and that. And then coming back saying that, oh no, I'm sorry, this was a mistake. But instead of saying it was just a mistake, they said it was not intended from the very beginning. While they already confirmed with us saying that it was. That's the biggest part when it comes down to it. That's the second layer that I'm talking to. We got shot in the back from this, and this was not intended. All the content creators out there that were super hype about this, they said, I'm sorry, this is not supposed to happen. We got miscommunicated at the end of the day, and we apologize for our misinformation when it comes down to it, because everybody wants to give the right information.
Yes.
It doesn't. It makes sense. They are frustrated. I mean, they're definitely frustrated as much as that the community is. But once again, the toxicity, the final layer to this is that everybody wants to literally just bash and say that we're just like up saying the things that Niantic knows better than anything else. It's like, I understand the frustration. I understand everybody's frustration when it comes down to this. Why go and be that toxic community that we don't want to be? Like, I don't understand that. Now, I have a few thoughts. I have actually said my own, 2 pieces on Twitter when it comes down to it. It's understandable that maybe they needed an apology or maybe some compensation when it comes down to it, because in the end of the day, that's really, hurtful for us and the community and our community leaders when it comes down to it. But at the same time, luckily, this wasn't a change that happened over the course of months instead of just something that happened throughout a couple of
In
days
like a
after the
week,
release.
yeah.
Right. It would have definitely have increased our gameplay experience by a lot. Seeing I'll be able to see more Pokemons that we usually don't see because of the spawn points and things like that, or when we're not close enough with them when it comes down to it. But if it wasn't intended, it makes sense to just go back and do what we already been doing anyways. The ones that usually are screaming and saying that this was supposed to be a good quality of an update and now they're actually just being toxic about it in the end of the day are the ones that usually don't see that many spawns in the first place. And it wasn't. I still feel like it was handled incorrectly, but at least brought up to attention sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think people are making a bigger deal than it really should be from a mistake, that
Yeah.
could have been, one or two people on the side of Niantic when it comes to, relaying the information that it was supposed to happen. I have heard from a few people online that, like Speediest Chief, saying like, "Hey, oh, there's more spawns. I guess I'll go walking some more."
Yeah.
And it is definitely true that if you're able to shiny check more Pokemon, catch more Pokemon, you're probably going to play more.
Yeah.
So I am interested to see if they take into account feedback like that to end up keeping it this way or changing it, a little bit less than it is right now, but a little bit more than we're used to, because it does keep people safer and it does increase the amount that you can do in the game while you're in it.
Yeah. And again, it just feels that the communities, like just to say, they are overreacting to a lot of different things that should have happened in the first place. I believe there's just a lot of hype going on after everything, and besides, after everything they have done in the last season, people are still over the edge. It's technically has slowed down, but now everybody's once again going all about it. It's like, you guys don't care about us. You guys don't care about the carry plays. Don't care about this. I'll just leave it at that, really, because in the end of the day, I feel like we're just gonna keep on going on and on and on when it comes down to it. I'm just gonna say one final piece and say, again, this was a mistake. Yes, everybody got shot, but in the end of the day, we have to move on. We can still play the game. It's not broken. It's just that it's back to where it was before. So just let it be, guys. Just move on. It happens. It's human error. And please, don't be disrespectful to all the other content creators or even people in Niantic, because errors can happen. Mistakes can happen. I'm pretty sure whoever actually said that it was okay, they're getting the heat on from the high ups right now. So let it be, guys. Just let it be. Everybody has their own ways of doing things. All right. And before we finish up, which I guess we're not going to finish up, let's get some PvP on us. Get good, get wrecked. Here we go. All right. Well, GBL, we have been playing the single type cup, or the mono cup, I guess it's called. Single type cup, right? That's what it's called?
Yes.
And then the Ultra League is active right now, which actually will be changing over as soon as tomorrow, I believe.
I believe it's the single type cup.
It is?
I believe so.
Yes, single type cup.
I'm second guessing myself. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It will actually roll over as of the 29th, which is tomorrow at 4 p.m. And the Master Premier and the single type cup Grey League Edition will be also active. So technically, we'll still have the single type cup, but Master League will be part of the pool this time. However, that is not the only thing that's happening this weekend, which we did mention in our dump of news, and that is Go Battle Weekend. Clay. Chris, how about you take this one?
Yeah. Yeehaw, excuse me. Get your Pokemon ready for Pokemon Go Weekend Clay. It is time you get your battle on. Another Pokemon Go weekend is almost here. For those of you not familiar, if you want to, get your battles in for this season, this is the best day to do it, especially if you've been slacking the other days. Uh, from Saturday, July 1st, to from 12 a.m. to Sunday, July 2nd at 11:59 p.m. local time. That's when it's going to be taking place. So the bonuses: 4 times Stardust from win rewards. This does not include the end of season rewards and will not stack with the 3 times Stardust bonus from Master League rotation weeks. The maximum number of sets you can play per day will be increased from 5 to 20. So tons and tons for a total of 100 battles, and that's going to be each day. So the first day from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., and then the second day from the same time period, 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. So a total of 200 battles. That is crazy.
Yeah.
There's going to be free battle themed team research, timed research that will be available, and the rewards include the clay style hat, and then the paid battle themed timed research will be available, which is in the shop currently. I saw. And the tasks will include battling in the Go Battle League 50 times and other battle themed tasks. So I do see that they learned from their mistake here,
Yeah.
and made it lower than the actual amount.
Yeah.
And it looks like you don't have to win for these two, which is good. The research will award 30,000 Stardust, award 1 star piece, 3 rare candies, and 3 rare extra large candies for trainers level 31 and up. This timed research will be available for $1 of the US or the equivalent pricing tier in your local currency. Important. Please note that time research expires. To receive the rewards, the tasks associated with this time research must be completed before the event ends for Sunday, July 2nd at 11:59 p.m. local time.
Well, interesting bonuses for sure. We have seen them before, but the whole paid battle team time research.
They definitely learned.
Yeah, no, definitely learn. The active leagues, of course, will be the Master League Premier and the single type Cup, Great League Edition. So you're still going to be playing Great League Cup, regardless of how you look at it. The rewards for the weekend. During the Go Battle Weekend Clay, the following changes will be made to the Go Battle League Premier track. Guaranteed Rare Candy XL for any trainer set up for their second win in the set. Guaranteed Rare Candy for trainers level 30 and below for their second win in the set. Increased Stardust rewards compared to the basic retire rewards, and then order of premium track rewards will be rearranged. So extra large candy for winning.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, honestly.
So you better
guaranteed extra large for 2 wins.
So you better go 2-0 at least, or 2-3 every single time.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Pokemon encounter is still the first one. I think that's the case.
I think so. In the Premier track, it would be. That makes sense.
Yeah. If you just win 2, I think that's still a win, even if you're going down. If you're getting candy extra large.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like even getting just the guaranteed Candy XL is crazy. Mm-hmm. And then rewards changes after the Go Battle Weekend. So this is actually really important. After the conclusion of the Go Battle Weekend Clay, several changes will be made to the Go Battle League for the remainder of the season. First and foremost, all rewards from the premium track will be adjusted to be in the same reward order as the basic reward track, but in increased amounts. Mm-hmm. Also, trainers level 31 and up will have a chance to receive a rare Candy XL as an item reward after the second win in the set. So more incentivizing to actually play the premium track after the Go Battle League weekend ends.
That's kind of wild.
It is, because it does give us a little more incentive that we need to do or spend the premium tracks, or because the premium track you actually have to spend a battle pass for it, or a raid pass for it, however you may call it. But that means that you spend money on it. Most of the time, you usually just use the free ones, and that's all that we need to have encounters. But Now that we're going to be getting some extra large candy from just doing the regular wars. Now, I'm not sure. It does say it's a chance of receiving it. It's not every single time. I'm not sure how it will work, how it will really affect the battlers, or how it really affects how we play the game or go battle league in the end of the day. So it's kind of like a two-sided coin in the end of the day, right?
That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully, let us know if you're actually going to be doing all 200 battles. We don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. I mean, if like just like you said, if you're actually slacking on your whole league to get to legends or something, this is one of those weekends. I've been playing a little bit. I did level a little bit into the single cup, but I went back to Ultra League and then started using my Galarian Moltres, and people don't really know how to deal with it.
Yeah, they're not prepared for that bird.
Yeah, especially because they think that I'm gonna get a Brave Bird in, and then I'm just gonna be like, nope, this is just a regular attack. You're not getting anything out of me. It's like ha 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 ha. And but I'll be playing the Master Premier. Master League has always been my favorite league out of the whole.
You're good at it.
I got the months. Even if it's Premier and I can't use my legendary favorite legendaries, I still believe that there is some niche when it comes down to a lot of different things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's it. And one last thing to mention, the North American International Championship is happening this weekend too. So we're finally gonna have the final championship before Worlds happen next month. Everybody's really excited. It is technically the last chance for trainers to really participate and win their, if they can win it, of course, to get their ticket to Japan or get an access to invitationals, or I'm sorry, to the Worlds in the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching this one closely. I do believe there's actually some pretty good, strong trainers out there for this. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But then after that, anything else to cover, Chris?
Nothing I can really think of off the top of my head. I'm just interested in how the changes to the Go Battle League actually affect it. Because I know they say they're increasing some things. It almost makes me wonder, because like the first thing that popped in my head was if they're increasing things, you're not going to get 2 encounters. So they can't really increase that. It almost makes me feel like maybe they're hopefully raising the percentage chance you can get a legendary from the premium, but I kind of doubt it. I don't think it's going to be like that. But only time will tell. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's in my mind right now. Kind of just looking forward to the events actually happening and seeing how they unfold.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you like to listen to us more, or if you want to support us, just make sure you download the podcast during the podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, many of those places. Please, if you can also leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Follow our social medias, myself at PureLighterGo, Chris at Pokemon Trigger Please. That's PKMN Trigger Please with a Z at the end. Purified Podcast for any information about Pokemon Go and podcast related news. You can also email us anything to thepurifiedpodcast@gmail.com if you want to just send us some pretty cool stuff here and there. Then you also can join our Discord. It's free for anybody. And then don't forget to check us out at thepurifiedpodcast.com, the Professor Network. With that being said, Chris, take us away for the night.
All right. I hope everyone had a fantastic week, and I hope everyone is looking forward to the events coming. It definitely seems like we got a lot going on, even if the legendaries aren't as wild for a little bit. But yeah, I hope you guys are out there catching Pokemon and getting together with your community. We'll catch you guys next week, where hopefully we got even more news for you. Peace out, guys. See you then.
Keep training, keep purifying them, and we'll see you guys next time.